Monsterverse Declassified. This is a new comic from, I believe, Titan Comics. It says Legendary Comics, but I'm pretty sure it's from Titan Comics. But anyways, if you don't know what the Monsterverse, that's kind of the sub name that they use for the Godzilla and Kong American ones, anyways. Like, Godzilla and Kong American movies, because, we have Japanese stuff. It's a whole thing. But yeah, so this comic is basically 4 different monsters and kind of showing their story. Or not stories, but kind of just showing them off, talking about them for a minute. So we have Behemoth, Moth. Basically, this one is like a giant mammoth creature that just kind of does what we see a lot in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is that he walks around, destroys stuff, but new life comes after he's done with that, which is something they talk about in Godzilla x Kong. So it's pretty cool to see another creature kind of has that same kind of vibe to them. Next one we see is this one, which is really cool. Abudan. This one is like set in Japan, and I love the art style for this one. It's basically a giant spider that just is hell bent on destruction. And then you get this shot. Is really cool. Look at that shit. There's some really great art in this book, honestly. And then you get this other one, which doesn't really have any dialogue describing it. It's just a giant lizard. That's literally it. It's like a giant iguana. I forget what they call this one, but it doesn't really matter. And then finally, Teeny Mat, or whatever they call this. This one's like a giant eel, like sea monster that takes down ships and shit. Kind of idea of kind of what the Kraken's based on. It's really cool stuff. I wasn't really sure what I was gonna get out of this, because the last Godzilla Monsterverse comic I read was the one that was supposed to be like a prequel to the new movie, Godzilla x Kong New Empire. But I didn't like it. I didn't think it worked. And it was fine, but it was just fine. Like, I don't even remember what I said about it. I just don't remember it being very good. This is actually really solid. Gives you more Lord of the Universe. Talks about things that are set up in the universe, but furthering up in a very unique and interesting way. I just thought this was fantastic stuff. It is just such a fun read. And just full of great art. All these creatures are kind of done with different art styles. I mean, you see, here's a list of all the artists that worked on it. So I think if you really love the Monsterverse, like you're so into it that you've seen the Monarch show, and you really just like finding any new material to read up on and engage with, I think this is great. I think it's a really fun read. It's running you a price tag for $20. But yeah, if they put out more cool just comics like this. In fact, what I would actually like them to do instead of comics like this, do a whole series of one-shots that, of course, you can eventually collect in a trade paperback or omnibus or whatever. But something like that. Just something that just one-shots, little short comics about whatever monsters. You can get different artists, different writers, do all kinds of stuff. Just expand the lore in ways that are interesting of this universe, showing off cool monsters, and this is a great example of that. This makes, actually reading this made me almost think about those movies more, maybe want to rewatch maybe some of them, or at least have more cool, we're just hunting down this creature type show. And, Monarch is kind of like that, but also not fully like that, and it does kind of bug me a little bit, but I did really, really fucking like this comic. Let me know your thoughts, like, share, and subscribe. I don't